Hey guys, welcome to the latest episode of this Unbelievable Life. Today I have two awesome travel advisors on with me, and let me just give you a short bio on them. Deb and Amy are travel advisors with Travelmation, a Florida-based agency, and Earmarked Diamond Authorized Disney planner. They're both lifelong Hoosiers and moms who have both have a love of travel and helping others with their trips. Today, we're going to be talking about the process of working with a travel advisor and customizing the specific tour to their clients, as well as a few hot destinations right now. Ladies, take it away.
Thank you.
Hello. How is everyone today?
So, like Nikki said, we are travel advisors with Travelmation out of Florida. We all work from home. There's over 1,300 of our agents in the agency, and we all kind of specialize in different things like Disney, cruises, Alaska, Hawaii. Those are kind of Deb's. Mine is what we call FIT travel, which is taking bits and pieces of trips and putting them all together, customized just for the client. And Japan, Europe. I mean, but we do lots of different stuff. So,
and we tend to specialize in different things, but yet if we do get a client that has an area that we don't necessarily know a lot about, we work as a team and with groups of people, which is great. So it opens up so much more, I think, than people that don't have that option. I tend to specialize lately in a lot of multidisciplinary areas with multi-generational families. That seems to be a really big thing. I don't know, since we've come out of COVID, people are just like, hey, I've been saving my money all my life, and instead of leaving it to my kids, let's enjoy it together. So I've been doing a lot of those, either cruises, actually trips to Hawaii or Disney. Done a lot of Disney trips with that as well.
I booked a lot of Las Vegas. Everyone wants to go to Vegas. Japan, which is hot right now because they've just reopened since COVID happened. So Europe, we've got a lot of Europe, lots of cruises.
Italy seems to be a really hot spot lately.
Yeah.
I've done a couple. I know Amy has done a couple, and
so people are, I think they've had their bucket list. They've been at home for 3 years, whatever, thinking about, okay, when this is all over, where do we want to go? And so I think they're kind of taking bucket list trips instead of like just long weekends or, just kind of the normal summer vacation type thing. I've had a lot of requests for like out west, like Grand Canyon and California and that kind of stuff too. So
right. I think lately for me, I've had a lot of cruise requests, primarily Alaska, as we're getting into the season. Last weekend was the first ship that arrived in Alaska, and that season runs through September. And a lot of people book it ahead of time, but then you've got people that are like, oh, it's my bucket list and I just need to go.
Well, and the prices are really great for Alaskan
prices are great. It's really, it's a great kind of an all-inclusive, everything's included.
Sure.
A lot of the cruise lines have different packages where if you do want drinks and everything can be included. But yeah, that's been really popular with me here of late.
And all-inclusives too.
All-inclusives.
Cancun, Jamaica, Punta Cana, there's some other places too, but those are the really hot ones, I think. And the pricing is really good. I feel like the flight prices are a little right now, but the resort pricing is really good. So we've had a lot of those.
And I think flight prices have been fluctuating quite a bit lately too. We've noticed that in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Something we had looked at before, the prices have actually gone down, which we're excited about. But all inclusives are great. I just recently was able to attend to myself. I got to go to a Sandals in Montego Bay, Jamaica. And then I also went to Beaches, Turks and Caicos, which is a family property. And it was very nice. Gorgeous. So the whole all-inclusive thing. Oh, and I also went to Sun Palace. I forgot about that one, which was a palace in Cancun. So this quarter, I've been doing a lot of all-inclusives, and it's very relaxing because you don't have to think about anything. Everything is laid out. The meals are there, the drinks, everything's provided. It's not super crowded. Again, the one I went with the families, oh my, they had everything a kid could ever want to do.
Yeah.
I wish my kids were younger because I would take them.
And the prettiest water in the world.
And the most beautiful water. So it's kind of hard to not like an all-inclusive. So I think a lot of people are branching out with that had never done it before. And I get a lot of requests for that.
Yeah. And we do have a few all-inclusive places in the United States too. They're just not quite exactly what you think of when you think all-inclusive, but there's a couple in Florida. There's some like ranches and spas out west. So that is an option if people don't want to leave the country, or they don't have a passport, or can't get one, or whatever. So there's that too, but they're just not as.
The one in Florida is
just different.
super nice. It's couples only, and it's located in the Keys. And I've booked a couple of clients there that just rave about it. I have not been there myself, but it's a really nice one if somebody's looking for an all-inclusive and they don't have a passport.
Right.
And speaking of passports, that is a little questionable right now as well, because when we were in COVID, passports were so hard to get, and they were months booked up. Then they got better, and they've gotten bad again.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a passport, get one now.
Yeah. 10 to 13 weeks is the estimated processing time for regular ones. The expedited is 7 to 9 weeks, which is really
still a long time.
Now, if you ever have a travel emergency, like you have to go out to the country because somebody's ill, or, something like that, there's processes to go through. But just for a normal, hey, I want to go on a vacation, you need to get that kind of planned out and start applying now.
Right.
And it's because so many people are applying for passports. Again, we've been at home for 3 years, that there's this huge influx of people that want them. They just don't have enough people to process it all. So that's just how it is.
And I will say that for cruises, if it is what we call a closed loop cruise, where it starts in the US and ends back in the US, you don't have to have a passport. We recommend it just in case something happens, but you can still cruise with a birth certificate and a driver's license. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And then your Alaska cruises, unless you leave out of Vancouver, you need a passport if you leave out of Vancouver. But if you leave out of Seattle and come back to Seattle, even though you do go into Canada, you do not have to have a passport.
Yeah. So why don't we tell about how it works working with Travel Advisor? Because I think people have this misconception that they're just going to walk into a store, which obviously we don't have. We work from home, and they're going to pull a trip down off the shelf, and they're going to pay for it, and we're going to book it for them. And that's not really at all how we work. So everything we do is customized just for our clients. So Nikki, if you wanted to book a trip to Cancun and your neighbor wanted to book a trip to Cancun, we would, wait a minute, you don't have neighbors now, do you? But we would work to get to know you. What do you like to do? What are you looking for? Do you want to relax? Do you want adventure? Do you love food? Do you not really care? Do you want all the drinks? Do you not drink? Do you want to swim in the ocean? Does it matter if there's a swimmable beach? What about the pools? And that's just for Cancun. Those are questions we ask. So anywhere anybody goes, we just take a few minutes to get to know them so that we can really, really customize that trip. Of course, there's tours out there. We have some lovely companies we work with: Trafalgar, Globus, Exotica, G Adventures. There's tons of them that we can choose from. And it is kind of a pull the, package off the shelf and buy it, and you go on these guided tours. But what we feel like people are really wanting is kind of that same experience where, let's say you go to Ireland and you get to go to Dublin and you get to go see the sheep and you get to go to the Cliffs of Moher, but everything is customized based on what's important to you. So we kind of book those. Basically, we do the other tours and stuff, but we've had a lot of people come to us that want a different experience where it's more customized. And it's not, you have to be back on the bus at this certain time and you're going to eat at this restaurant. They want to be able to decide where they're going to go and when. So we do a lot of that.
We have a lot of options for excursions and locations as well. Even in the US, people don't think about, they go to a city well-known in the US.
Yeah.
We have great excursions for that city that we can set up for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's also a good thing. Even at all-inclusive, when I was in Jamaica, we left and went on a couple excursions. We went on a rafting trip in the middle of the jungle. It was really fun. I would have never thought of that had I not known about some of the excursions that we offer. So I think also even with Disney, we do the same. Not every Disney trip is the same. They're all different. Everybody has different ideas where they like to stay, what their touring plans are. We really, really customize trips to what people want.
So part of working with a travel advisor versus booking it on your own, which you totally can, is we have training and we spend hours, because this is our job, pouring into learning as much as we can about everything and researching it all. And especially you with your Disney knowledge, which surpasses the amount of time that you've been a travel advisor, but every room type, every resort, maybe not, but it feels like it. So if you've got somebody like that as your agent and you say, well, I want this resort, but blah, 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 blah. Especially Deb can step in and say, yeah, probably not the best idea. I had a client the other day that wanted to book breakfast at Chef Mickey's, but she also was going to Magic Kingdom that day. And I'm like, but if you do that, then you're going to miss out on being at the park. And she's like, oh yeah. So it's stuff like that that you don't get booking on your own, obviously. Another thing we look at is like layover times or flights.
Right.
If we're looking at it, and we're like, well, you know what? That's a really big airport and you only have 47 minutes and you still have to go through customs. That's not going to work. And you may not consider that when you're booking it on your own. So how does it work working with a travel advisor? We both, again, work from home, do everything from home, although we do meet with clients in person if they want to. But
Absolutely.
so how it works is we both have request forms on our website. You just go and fill it out. It's super quick and easy. Name, address, email, how many people are traveling, where do you want to go, like just basic info. Sometimes we set up like a Zoom or a phone call just to get more info. Sometimes, like if it's a one-night hotel stay, we don't do that. It's not necessary for you or us. We just say, okay, here's a hotel, you know.
Well, another thing I'd like to add is we can do whatever you want us to do. So a lot of times, and I'm going to throw Disney out there again, because we've talked about it a lot, and I do book a lot of Disney. Some people just need help setting up the shell of the trip, but they like to be involved. They want to do certain things, and that's totally fine with us. We will do whatever you want, or if you just want advice, or we can do it all for you. So we really try to.
We can hold your hand or just let you go and be free, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we get the quote request form, kind of look through things, and then we start quoting, which probably takes more time than the actual booking process. It takes us a while to pull together all of these options. So let's say someone says, I want to go on a cruise sometime over the summer and I just want to go somewhere warm. That's very unspecific. So we have to go into our brain and say, okay, we need to get to know this person and see what they want and what they like and where they really want to go. And if, you know, this cruise, like Virgin Voyages, for example, is adults only, kind of a luxury cruise, but it only goes certain places. They have certain itineraries. It's great for some people, but if it's a family, that's not going to work. Whereas Celebrity Cruise Line would be great for a family, but again, it's only going to work for certain people. Princess is another cruise line, great in all over the world, but Alaska, but it's not going to be great for 20 somethings. It'll be more for 50, 60-year-olds. So we kind of need to know that. Even with Marriott hotels, like we're very well trained on which ones people would fall into those categories and which would be best for them. So we kind of think about all of that. And, you know, if somebody comes and wants to go to Vegas, we say, okay, in our brain, we've got these hotels that we've researched and we'll quote those. And if these don't work, then we'll just go back to the drawing board, because some people are Bellagio people and some people are not Bellagio people. So we just need to know that. So we get the quote, we do it all online via, you know, email or texting or even Facebook messaging, whatever. And then we send it and, you know, we'll go back and forth if you want us to go back to the drawing board or if it's perfect. And then we just go ahead and get everything booked. So the nice thing is we have several hundred vendors that we can choose from. So we're not stuck with just Marriott or just Hilton. We can use pretty much every hotel chain. And we can even do like Expedia. We can book through Expedia, and sometimes, usually at a better price than what you can get on Expedia because of our affiliations. We can do all the cruise lines. We book our own flights. There's so many options that we have, and you don't have to go through and research everything. We can do all of that for you, present it to you. If you want to go look at reviews of hotels, go ahead. Like, absolutely. But we're there to do all the hard work so that you can just enjoy your vacation. It just takes the stress out of it. And even the same thing with Disney. We'll get up and book your dining reservations at 5 a.m. if you want us to. If you don't, that's fine too. I would be fine sleeping in, but we're happy to do it. We know, you know, we have it on our calendars. It's part of our job. We love doing it. There's some kind of rush about getting every reservation that somebody wanted for their trip. But so, yeah.
Well, and Disney especially, we stay on top of everything. And trust me, that changes every day. And Genie Plus is new, and a lot of people are not familiar with it. And so not only do we stay on top of it, and work with it all the time. We actually go and experience it. So that helps. And we try to travel and do as much as we can as well, because it's a lot easier to answer questions if you've
Sure,
been there.
definitely.
We take a lot of classes, a lot of training on the site training as well. We've got wonderful BDMs, which are business development managers at a lot of these different companies. So we have kind of an inside scoop if there is ever a problem, or we just have a strange question come up,
Yeah.
which we've had some of those.
Yeah,
But we have a number and we have a person to actually talk to.
right. Not just a 800 number at a call center.
Right,
So,
right. So that's definitely advantageous, I
and
think.
then like once your trip's booked, then we're still there for you if you need it. If you don't, if you're like, hey, you're done, I'm done with you, then that's okay too. But we'll check in a few days before your trip, make sure you've got everything in line and you don't have any major questions. I actually have clients on their way back from Italy right now, and I just sent them a quick text this morning because they were in between flights on a layover, and I'm like, hey, just making sure everything's okay, because they've had some crazy stuff happen during their trip. But it's a personal thing. Like, we don't work for American Airlines or Marriott. We work for you, our client, and so we provide this personalized service. The great thing that I don't think we've mentioned yet since we've been on here is we do all of this at no cost to you.
Oh, yeah.
You do not pay us any extra. So if the Marriott hotel room is $100, you're only paying $100. We, after you return from your trip, about 60 to 90 days after, get paid by Marriott. You're already paying for a travel agent and you don't even know it. They build that into their prices when they post them. So you get all of our service, and it's completely free to you, no matter what you're booking. So that's a lot of expertise and assistance. And you can call, this is what I did to Deb once. I'm at Disney World. Hi, can you tell me where to get a stuffed animal and some soy milk at Disney World? I see a carousel and I don't know where I am.
She did. I knew exactly where she was and where she needed to go and what she needed to find.
Because my kid was freaking out and it was hot and we were at Disney. So that's the kind of service too, besides just researching everything and booking it and planning it all. So yeah.
And sometimes things go wrong on your vacation.
Yeah.
We'd like to hope that never happens. But when that does happen, or if it happens, you can call us, and we have ways of getting a hold of different people.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully working with you through the problem and working it out to where it's easy.
Yeah.
And it's not stressful.
And especially with international travel, like I've got, processes in place that my clients can get a hold of me, even though it's in the middle of the night. I kind of have been focusing on Japan lately, and there's a huge time difference with Japan. So a lot of 3 a.m. phone calls, but stuff happens like, oh, our driver never came to the airport to pick us up.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, great. But it's 3 a.m. But you know what? That's our job. And we're fine with doing that. And we know these trips intimately, like the back of our hand, because we've worked on them so much. So we know exactly who to call, even though we don't have our glasses on yet and haven't had any coffee. Right. And so we just get it taken care of.
Yeah,
so we're there for that too. Again, at no cost to you.
And sometimes we just hold your hand, because if you're at an airport and you have flight delays, you're going to have better resolution at the counter than we are on a number with the airline.
Definitely.
Airlines are kind of strange to work with anyway, but we can hold your hand and walk you through it and tell you what you need to do, and potentially be on the other line booking a hotel because you're going to have an overnight stay that you weren't planning on.
Right.
And kind of get ahead of the game before everybody else books those hotels.
And sometimes we just talk you down off the ledge and help you calm down.
That's true.
I mean, the number one thing that you should put on your packing list is your patience. That's any trip, whether it's one night or a month. So, well, let's see. So what are your hottest destinations right now?
Alaska. I'm doing a lot. Hawaii has come up a lot lately.
Yeah.
A lot of people are thinking fall. Hawaii. I'm booking fall trips already. So,
all right.
And some Christmas trips.
Okay. So I've got a few Christmas, a few fall. Fall's starting to pick up. It's time to start thinking about a fall break for sure.
Definitely.
But I'm still booking a lot of summer stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So
we still have a great program or discount right now with Disney.
Oh yeah. So
Disney's got a 25% off through the summer. And there's still a lot of availability. I think a lot of people are starting to think about that. Kids are getting close to graduation, being out of school. So
it's definitely not too late to book, but it's also kind of never too early. So real quick about Disney, this is how this works. We can't book 2024 yet, but we will be able to fairly soon.
Couple weeks.
So Disney, most people don't know this, but you can put down a $200 deposit and then you don't have to pay for your package until 30 days before your trip. So if we were booking into 2024, which we're not yet, but you could book it today, put down $200, and then you've got until 30 days before your trip next year to pay for your tickets in your room, which
And
is
it's
great.
totally flexible. We can change dates. We can do all
Right,
kinds of
change
things,
resorts,
even with that package.
Yeah.
So if you know you're going to Disney and you think you know the date, we can set it up and we can always change it around.
Yeah, of course.
So a lot of flexibility with that.
Yeah.
But it locks in the room you want.
Right.
Especially when there's a sale like right now at the 25% off discount.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
So it's just a lot of people don't know that. Plus, my little hack is if you go to Target and use your red card, which can be a debit card or a credit card, you can buy Disney gift cards for 5% off every day if you use that card. Then you take those Disney gift cards and use those to pay off your trip, and suddenly your trip is 5% cheaper than it was going to be before. So
Yeah.
there's my hack.
Yeah.
So
You do that at Sam's too, I think.
yeah, I think so.
Sam's
Yeah.
Nicholson too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, all right. So people can find us. If you search for me on any kind of social media, you'll find me. My hashtag is Travel Agent Amy or Amy Plans Your Magic. I'm on all the things. And then Deb is definitely
Not really on.
Yeah.
I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah, not on TikTok, but so you can find her on Facebook for sure. It's Deb Gorman, DebGorman. Also, if you just go to travelmation.net, you can kind of find us there if you can't figure out another way to do it. And yeah, we would really love to chat with you about any kind of travels, from one-night hotel stays to a month in Japan, whatever works for you. We can book it, anything.
Such great information. And just a few takeaways that I had was, I love how you guys prioritize customization. You know, every trip should be special for that person or that family. So your prioritization of customization is fantastic. The next, U.S. excursions. Like, I didn't even realize that was a thing that you guys could book. How exciting. And, you know, a lot of people don't want to travel overseas right now. They would prefer to stay stateside. So, you know, whether you're looking to do a 1 to 2 day trip or a week or two, you know, how exciting to dive into the different excursions you can do in different cities. So I thought that was fascinating. And then lastly, Disney. I'm a longtime Disney family, but I swear every time I went, it's something new, something different, you know, and I think since post-COVID, things have changed a lot. So, you know, it's so nice to be able to rely on somebody that has the intimate knowledge of what is going on day to day. So thank you for that. Really appreciate that. And then lastly, in that regard, those Disney reservations for those meals. For anybody that doesn't know, you have to book those a long time in advance if you want to have food at the castle or whatever. And so, you know, having somebody on hand to take care of that for you, what a service. That is absolutely fantastic. So ladies, thank you again for being on, sharing your unbelievable life.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And I would just like to thank all of our listeners for being on today and wish everybody a blessed and wonderful day.